You may ask me, Kat, what is your reason? What is the decision that led to you making this video? And I want to give you a good reason. But honestly, I don't have any answer for that. Like, what's up, top cheese? What's up, top cheese? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of those K-pop Reddit copy pasta. Let's look at this. This is so colorful. But I can be Andrew Tate lah, yeah? This is bullshit. What's up, top cheese? What's up, top cheese? We in this again. Oh my god. When you see me in this costume, it means we about to be serious. And the most important and interesting news this week is that Andrew Tate fanboy server, Hustler University, got penetrated by hackers. And by hacking, they got hacked. Every single information got reviewed to the entire planet. Like, it's not even on a dark web, it's on a clean web. It's like on a daily website that we can just access. Like, by right now, the moment that I'm speaking, you can just be curious and like go on Google, search up DDoS secrets, and there will be like 14 gigabytes of information within the Andrew Tate server waiting for you. And by information, I mean every single information. Like, we talking about usernames, email address that used to register for Andrew Tate server, which is a whole abundant meal for scammers, because Lord knows what will happen if the scammers want to like get their hands on with these, people, like, because obviously they are paying for Andrew's money. They're paying for Andrew's money, what can they also not pay, Those information actually are not that worthy for me, because I cannot scam people. Like I say, I do not, like, I feel bad if I scam people. Like, I never try to do it, so I know that I'm not destined to be Andrew Tate. But I digress. Most important information that is valuable to me, and maybe it's the reason that you click onto this video, is the chat logs. Because what is so interesting about Andrew's University is basically like a Discord chat server. Like, it used to be a Discord chat server until they turned it into like a separate website, which is the reason, funnily, they got hacked. But basically, every single chat there is like an information for like a university course. You go there, you register, you kind of like signed up to like learn these kind of things of different kind of like prospects and like landscapes of business. And so yeah, to me, that is the information I got interested in. What can be they are teaching between the realms of Andrew Tate's work? What can be the sources, the information that is protected to prevent me from escaping the matrix and presumably make me be able to escape it? What can just activate my mentality and like make me a billionaire? Like, all of these information, like, I can just make money. That is the most important thing to me. Like, these information should be, if you play Genshin, and I know speaking that makes me sound like a nerd, but if you play Genshin and you have gone to Sumeru, you know that information is the most valuable property. Knowledge is the most valuable property. Genshin, a gacha game says that. But anyways, my point is digressed. Okay, I'm forgetting what I'm trying to talk about. And the most important thing, I know a lot of people has covered about entering the realms of Andrew Tate University, fanboy service before, but the most important thing is that there are private channels. So even if you pay $50 a month for a subscription, you cannot be able to access these private channels. And by hacking, oh my god, which thank Lord to the hackers, like, I don't know who you are, but bitch, I love you, bitch. They just upload everything. And you want to ask me for my opinion is that I think information should be free. I think knowledge should be accessible. Like if you are talking about escaping the matrix and the matrix is holding all of us and you are the one to help people escape the matrix, then you should provide that information for free. Knowledge should be free. Knowledge should be accessible. That is what makes the world better. When people get access to information, it bridges the gap of generation. It creates opportunity, chances, privilege for people. They got accelerated in life. Like if you want to make the world a better place, that is what you should do. Information should be accessible. Like the idea is that knowledge and information should be free. It should be accessible. Like that is the reason so many books right now should be accessed to the public. Like there are reasons why domain is free, you know, like there are free domains. This is the reason why I love archival own. Information should be free. I don't know if people understand what is archival own, but all of that information is free 99 today. Today, you can access it for free. There is no paywall. There is no $50 a month subscription and waiting for 90 days for you to actually DM people. It's all for free and you can read all the chat logs, all the information that is so deemed valuable that can help you escaping the matrix and get you rich, because that is what Andrew Tate says, baby. We gonna be rich. And so I think to myself, that's actually funny. That's actually interesting because I haven't known much about Andrew Tate server. Like this is the experience that got me known what actually the server is about. And if you just click onto the file on Deals as Secrets, you can see that the causes that Andrew Tate and his team offers to teach, including AI automation, content creation, and also AI, copywriting, which honestly I do not think that is really on brand with Tate's. Like I think Tate is on brand with entertainment, comedy, and a bit of content creation and marketing and branding, but not really copywriting. I mean, copywriting does have those elements, but I was really surprised when I see copywriting. I was like, okay, this is the reason. Because I think to myself, if there's a person that has all the free time in the world to do stupid shit and have the ability, have the hunger to learn, and also the ability to filter out information, take what is resonating, take what is true, take what is working, knows what will work, know what is bullshit, and just again, we are here to read, not to judge, but maybe judging at the end. It's gonna be me because I have a lot of free time. Like nobody on the internet is doing this besides me. So yeah, I just got interested and I say, okay, let's just see what Andrew Tate has to offer. And so welcome to the video. That is enough of backstory and chit chat. I was planning to do like a kind of compilation of what I have done and like a kind of like runtime timestamp, but honestly, spoiler alert, it's pretty boring within the group chat. Like maybe it's just my observation, but I will spoil it for you. It's pretty boring. And so I would just have information running in the background with me talking about my experience to you guys, which, you know what, can be your time to click off the video because I will spoil it to you. It's pretty boring. So first thing first, if you download the chat, which has become one of our most first problems trying to read the chat logs, is that these chat logs are stored in JSON format, which is basically like coding shit. And it's actually not stored in like the correct JSON format because I presume that there's a lot of information. Like I say, there's like, if you click onto the users file, there's at least like 700,000 members of like information of members. It's not like active members, more like members who have been registered throughout the time, but nonetheless that is a crazy amount of like people. But anyways, so I presume that the information is quite like large because like obviously it's a server run by, you know, at least 100,000 accounts in there. So the JSON format is actually not stored correctly, so you have to run a bit of Python or whatever to like kind of reformat it. And so what I did is that actually I'm no tech girly. I know nothing about coding. I know nothing about, you know, programming. I know nothing about reading these chat logs JSON file. But one thing I do know is ChatGPT, bitch. I say that I can judge AI automation by Andrew Tate. I know what is the shit with AI automation. So I asked ChatGPT, hey, what can we do to create, so I can basically see these chat logs in like bubble messages. So there are two things that we have done. First is that we create like a chat to viewer, so a chat viewer too, so we can see these chat logs into, you know, chats that I can understand this in a chronological level, like a time order. And the second thing is that we can reformat these JSON file into readable JSON file. And so that is actually really tedious and time consuming. I think it's the longest process about this whole experience besides reading the chat logs. I mean, it's the only like 3 steps, like download the files, format it, and then read it. So it's kind of time consuming, but with the help of ChatGPT, it was not so bad. And so with a couple of music playing recently, I really into Chromacopia and GNX by Kendrick Lamar, so I blast those off during, you know, working. And finally, we got our hands onto what is talked about within Andrew Tate chat server. So first I start off with the public chats within copywriting, and one thing I first noticed is that the people in here are pretty young. Speaking about, they disclaim themselves to be 17 years old, 16 years old, 14 years old, and I just wonder in my head, are Americans that rich? Because I don't know, but in my country, $50 per month for like a 14 years old to subscribe on the internet, that is a lot of money when I was young. Like, I did not have $50 to subscribe to an Andrew Tate's course online. But a lot of people within these public chats are really young, and if I take these words for what it is, most of them on the public chats, as they disclaim, because like what is so interesting, because like the only, I think, oh my god, I'm rambling again, but the only part that I did not touch is the Hustler campus, which I presume that is the chat for like general chatting. So maybe I can get to know like what is the environment of the chat room, kind of like what they actually talk about. But I was here for like judging the information that like Hustler University was supposed to offer, so I did not get my hands on that. One thing I will give it is that they sounds pretty professional, except for the excessive usage of the word top G and G baby baby G baby. Like every single message chat, you can see they just use hey G's, what's up G's, thanks G, like G. Understand the law of Andrew Tate enough to understand what, like, I know top G is like something for like alpha male stuff, but it makes me feel like as if I'm entering Andrew Tate's code word. Like these people use G's to be like, kind of like, because like I don't know about y'all, but my grandmother, she's very much into religion. She's not a Christian, she's into Buddhism, and every single time there's like this saying of Azi Dafat, like Azi Dafat. It's it's like a term similar to like God bless you, and like every single time I'm meeting somebody, she just says that word. It reminds me of that kind of thing. It's like a religious thing, like what's up G's, thanks G's, Azida for G's. Like I don't understand, like, but anyways, I will give to the chat rooms is that they actually kind of seem to want to learn, which is kind of sad, because I try to look into the information and it's actually really confusing. Because when in terms of learning about copywriting, I was expecting to learn about copywriting. What I did not expect to see is that there are a bunch of channels that talk about working out, mentality, how to get bitches and maidens, and there's a lot of information that is just not relevant to the topics of copywriting at all. I think it's more like the mentality and kind of like how to train your, which I get it, it's important, but you know what, it's like you going to university, which maybe Andrew Tate doesn't relate to that much, but if you go to university, there are courses that maybe if you like look on the outside picture, it really relate to each other, but if you take the course one by one, it should not be like overlapping each other. Like each course should be taken on its own. Like if you want to teach people about mentality and like the kind of like a perspective with life, then that should be like a life and perspective, like a Hustler campus on the side. It shouldn't be within copywriting. But a lot of information that I can get my hands on is actually these kind of like podcasts and like morning power ups it's called morning powers. I presume it's like a Zoom meeting, because like that is actually the only kind of information that I can get my hands on. Like for some reason, most of like the information stored, like videos, are deleted or is stored within like Andrew Tate server. So it's actually they do not want that information to get out. So I was not be able to access that, but like I can still access like kind of like video recordings that they still save online. And so it was kind of funny because a lot of informations are not related to copywriting. And then when you look into these kids and be like, oh, they're actually spending a lot of money to learn about actual hands-on things, and you do not actually give them hands-on things. And one thing that I find it kind of funny is that Andrew Tate's like, not Andrew Tate, I'm sorry. And one thing I kind of find funny is that when I learn about these kind of like, how to say it, when I watch these courses, one of the things that they emphasize, which I will agree is true, is that copywriting is not an instant money glitch. Copywriting is something that you train yourself, something you have to take practices with and become, you know, kind of like they have like this metaphor of become like from a baby copywriter to a full-grown man copywriter, which is basically like a metaphor for saying that if you want to do like copywriting, you should practice, you should like have your hands-on experience and be like investing your time within the kind of like mentality to be able to like absorb this information and understand what truly the realms of marketing really is. And so I agree with that. But if you look into Andrew Tate's like campaign to advertising website, it's completely different. It's all about these money glitching, like we become rich today, money comes to us immediately, like I make this, I make that within this amount of time, I make this, I make that. And it doesn't make sense. Like I get the feeling that the people that Andrew Tate, it's like hiring teachers for you to teach. The teachers are actually wanting to do something that is beneficial for the students, but the kind of realms of the school is working on a different function. It's only to facilitate money for these teachers, and Andrew Tate for like the principal is not be able to create like chances and, you know, experience for the students. They want to make you stay no longer within these university, these kind of like environment, because the longer you remain, the more money Andrew Tate's and like teachers, like his partnerships will make. You know what, like a lot of topics, like a lot of words that they write here about copywriting, it's just like, I just feel like it's a lot of gimmick. Like let me just read this to you. Success in copywriting is like a game of chess. It's a strategic battle that demands a champion mindset. You must be relentless, you know what, like when you write copywriting, when you write good copywriting, it's supposed to not make people leaving the mind to wander and just thinking, okay, what is she trying to say? The idea about copywriting is writing clear. It's making people feel this is bullshit. So I feel very conflicted, because I feel like actually I do not get that much information. So I switched to private channels, and honestly, when I switch to private channels, the vibe changes. I read a lot of chat logs, and a lot of it happens to be like exchange about work and like clients and like just, you know, different kind of like client prospects and what they do, and also like kind of like reviews and work within like, you know, what like the members do, and like kind of like give their work so like all the members can review it and give their opinion on it, which I feel like it's really different compared to the public chats, because I feel like these people actually know what they are talking about. People have actual experience, and it's more like just a form of like exchanging. It's like networking. But think about it, you actually when you pay like $50, you don't immediately get these access to the to the private channels. And the private channels, it's actually, I'm not sure how many people were there, but I can say that it's a much smaller amount of people, because I can see the users and their name repetitive in the chats. So it's funny, because again, like the majority of people who got into Andrew Tate's group, they will not be able to get into these chances of networking. And even so, I just think that paying $50 a month, maybe my problem is that I do not condone the type of content and branding that Andrew Tate takes, because I think that it's detrimental to the way that we, as especially young people, especially young men, kind of take the understanding and perspective towards the word and how the money making machine goes. And like they kind of like view the word as like this kind of like, oh, the word is a matrix, and kind of like this in this very like, I don't know, detrimental and like like what is the word, that objectifying perspective towards everything surrounding them, instead of considering every perspective, every objects in that word to be actual human being. Like the way that if you have watched enough Andrew Tate, and believe me, I have watched enough Andrew Tate, it's like 5 videos per month, like that is top to me. I can understand what it pretty much is. Andrew Tate has built to his audience, I think it's really detrimental, because the perspective that he has for other people in this, like, you kind of like objectify people within your surrounding. You kind of consider them just to be matrix, like just obstacles that build to like hinder your way, and you have to control them. But in reality, these are all human beings. These are all, you know, these are all people with their own thoughts and feelings and kind of complexity growing up. And you know, that is what makes life become this intricate system of power exchange and position. And I just think that when you have this perspective about like matrix and obstacles, you kind of objectify other people. You kind of think that, oh, these are just like mindless beings that are existing, so it can like, I can control them and hinder my way or whatever. But in reality, that kind of cuts yourself down onto the feeling of sympathy and empathy to others. Like, I think that is not, like, personally for me, I would not want to live my life thinking that way. I just think that, you know, that is kind of like a selfish and also like a kind of dumbed down way of viewing the world. So it's just my perspective. But when I get into the group chats again, I will show this on the back screen, but a lot of the chats are, they're like this whole of like victory thing where people write about the experiences, and a lot of common themes that people would talk about themselves is that they were having a lot of like sex issues, like they were addicted to porn, they jack off daily, can I say that? Like, that is what they say. They write that they were addicted to porn, they jack out daily, they were losers, they were like, so like, you know, like they were cheated on, they were like this and that. And like, I just think to myself, this, like, it cannot be a coincidence that all of these people all share that same similarity and get into Andrew Tate's group chat. Surely something that Andrew has done right to make these people feel seen, and then therefore contribute to like the community, like pay money to join Andrew Tate's community, because that is quite a big coincidence to make. And I think about this a lot. But actually, when I look into this realm, like the group chats, it just remind me of the way that kind of like experts have, especially business experts, have built themselves into communities. Is that it's not about what you have to offer, it's not about how much you know, it's not about how even entertaining you are, it's about how you make others feel so excited about learning, how they feel that, oh, they are learning something big, and that they feel excited, therefore they contribute that excitement to you, and they think that you are a great teacher, and then you follow you. I just think like that. Like, it's funny because I don't think that there's much happened in like Andrew Tate server. There's actually not that much. Like, a lot of it can be just searched up to, you know, YouTube. Like, I think, you know what is the best hands-on experience? Go work, go actually work, go get internship, go get apprenticeship, go get like kind of like these LinkedIn learning, whatever. A lot of actually they teach about actual hands-on. Like, you can even watch YouTube, like you can even, you know what, you can go on Threads, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, get into these communities of people working and follow them and see. And you know what, just go on LinkedIn, there's plenty of information about what are these people are doing, and they post about it daily online, and you can kind of connect it. And you know what, even just take a step back, watch movies, read books, read like fiction, read like these different kind of topics to see what is the perspective into life. Because okay, I'm trying to piece myself together here. A lot of what Andrew Tate has to offer in the group chats, especially the public group chats, it just common shitty stuff about mentality and like exercising and like daily and like responsible and responsibility and discipline. Did I say that like discipline? Dip this in. I don't know. I will put the word here. I'm not a native speaker. I'm speak this as like my second language. But my problem is that a lot of these topics, you can kind of build your own community. You can kind of find this community. It's not that hard. Like, you can access this information for free. I think it's a deep in talk conversation about how Andrew Tate and people like Andrew Tate has kind of take advantage of this group of people in our community to be like, oh, we can make money off these people because they are lonely, they do not feel they are like related to, and you can just find a way to relate to these people, talk about things, give them like extreme perspective so they can become intrigued and pull these people into your community and make money out of it. Because a lot of these informations, I feel like even if it's networking, it's not much. A lot of these young people, they do not have anything. They are there with free labor and free like mostly all they have is they have free labor, and it's very easy to take advantage of these people. I'm just like, okay, what are we seeing here? What are we seeing here? And actually I will put some of the footage here so like you can kind of see like what I have. But I will say that it's actually one of like my most regretted experience, because I feel like it's really a waste of money. Maybe it's not a waste of my time, because I finally understand how people make money. Because I will say this, I have worked with business people that they make real deal shit of money. I'm talking about making like, I don't know, like $2 million in a week. And I know that actually I can see that the schemes of Andrew Tate is running, it's actually not that different from the kind of like things that also these business people teach. Because you have to understand, business expert is a very privileged, oh my god, I cannot speak. Business expert is a privileged field. It's a privileged field that people have money paying into getting what they want to hear, what they need to hear. But the problem is that a lot of these information, you can get access to it online. And my problem is that I think for Andrew Tate, the reason that I feel so conflicted with the amount of people having so many people joining into his server is that these people will share or at least be influenced by his beliefs onto social issues in this world, and that it kind of like contributes to this kind of conflicts that we have in our daily lives. And I have that concern because maybe like Trump, Andrew Tate can be also a felon. So, you know, like, it's just my concern. Like, if we can't, but you know what, if we can have a president that is a felon, why cannot we have Andrew Tate, who makes $6 million a month? Like, just think about it. But I really think that there's not much for you to learn. It's not much for you to read, because information is like free. Like, this information is like, it's just nothing. Like, what the best is that you can see how these people network, and maybe you can see for yourself like how these people talk. But that's it. If you want to have experience, go get a job. Honestly, I'm not kidding to you. Actually, you don't have to get a job. You can just have internship, work for these people, like have your chance onto like working for people and like experience during your way. I promise you, it also grants you a lot of experience. The problem is that you are just not starting. Like, the community of Andrew Tate is that's actually, it's just about getting people to start working. It's nothing much. But then because they have built this kind of like community, or like people who believes, because they feel like they are hurt, they believe that everything is contributed because of the Andrew Tate and his community, which is actually not. Like, take a step outside, breathe, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the fact that you are living, and see that, okay, I have so much potential, I can do this. It's not about, oh my god, I'm so obsessed with energy and like wealth and like success. It's about you actually know what will work. That's it. You know what is the most important and interesting fact that we find out about this whole experience? Is that just by scamming, Andrew Tate got like 100,000 people facilitating him $50 a month. That is making a monthly revenue of $5 million. Think about your morals. Think about your morals. Like, bitch, I wish I don't have my morals. I wish I could just scam people without feeling bad about it.